What is the single most you'll understand it when you're older thing? How limited your own perspective is. It's something you can really only learn with age. No amount of explaining will help a kid understand how biased they are towards their own lived experience. Not everybody is going to like you, even if you're a good person. Choosing your battles. How fast time actually passes. A year feels like an eternity as a kid. As an adult, I'm pretty sure I just blinked and missed my time since I left university. It's better to be alone than in bad company. The importance of good posture and stretching. That sitting outside in nice weather just doing absolutely nothing is a gift, and that you can really think of nothing. The joy of a good mattress. How rare real friends you can count on. We got food at home. We sure as hell do, and it cost me 10x less than any fast food place my kids point out every day. How your body really does decline even if you do everything right, work out, maintain a good weight, good sleep, food, etc. When you're young you can't imagine not having the strength or energy to do anything you want. Then you get much older and your body can just give out on you. Sex won't make them love you and a baby won't make them stay. That turning 18 doesn't make you an adult. Neither does graduating, getting your first place, getting married, or having a baby. It's kind of a gradual thing, and then one day you're excited because your favorite variety of potatoes are on sale, and you go, oh, this is adulthood. The phrase youth is wasted on the young. I would always get so offended hearing that when I was a child, usually spoken to me after I had done some ridiculous feat that took so much energy to do absolutely nothing at all. I know what they meant now. And I'm only in mid-30s. The adults that would tell me this were 50 and up and looking at me so wistfully. I understand. Sleepy face. Making random trivial mistakes like buying the wrong kind of item at the grocery store, such as the wrong brand or regular vs low-fat, because you weren't looking close enough. Used to annoy me so much when my mom did this. Now that I'm over 40, I totally get it. You have so much on your mind at a given time that small details are easier to miss, and our sharpness for these things slowly erodes with age. There's always room to grow, never stop. Nap time. How dumb you actually are as a teenager and well into your 20s. We all thought we knew better, didn't we? Some of us still do, but most of us have matured enough to realize that aside from maybe one or two topics, we know exactly two things, Jack and shit, and Jack left town. Money problems. Annoying or boring things like listening to older people tell stories or eating dinner with your family become precious memories when they're gone. When we're younger we take so many people in our lives for granted. You never know how much time you're going to get. Be grateful for boring. I would say that the world is not black and white. What seems too clear and straightforward becomes murkier and harder to cleanly divide as you get older. It's not just dementia. As you get older, you realize more and more what causes people to act the way they do, and the roles of victim and perpetrator become harder to distinguish. The key concept is that victims become perpetrators. The sheer power of compound interest over time. Pop music, slang, and other teen culture. Teens always think they invented culture and their opinions are objective truth. Older people see those fads come and go every year and know they are just passing fads. You really do stop caring about other people's opinions. That self-doubt you have in your 20s where you're always concerned about how you appear to others, it absolutely diminishes or goes away completely in your mid to late 30s. For most people anyways. As I've gotten older I've cared less and less about clothing trends, people pleasing, and sacrificing my own well-being for the happiness or pleasure of others. I see TikToks from younger generations that talk about how millennials can change their style to look less old or dated. and I just can't fathom who actually needs that information except younger folks who want to dogpile on an older generation. I can say with the utmost confidence, the vast majority of people have so much more to worry and care about than what a 20-year-old thinks of the rise on their pants. You realize that the majority of people aren't actually thinking about you at all, let alone what you're wearing or how you look. ETA, I'm not saying that no one should ever care about anyone else's opinion ever. Some level of awareness is important. However, so many people spend so much time trying to become something or someone else in order to fit in. People spend so much money and time trying to be that girl or guy. Women especially have so much pressure to fit certain standards under the guise that everyone is watching and judging them. When you get older, you realize that the vast majority of that pressure was most likely a lie to either sell you something or to make you feel bad so others can feel better about themselves. Went to the Netherlands in the 1970s with my Dutch mother. I asked her why she hadn't visited family since she was 13, 48 years earlier. Well, son, life gets in the way. I thought she was crazy. About 5 years ago I realized that I hadn't been back to visit since 1974, 45 years ago, now 50. Girls, marriage, houses, kid 1, kid 2, soccer, university, kids' weddings. Yup. Life does get in the way. Sometimes, you don't get closure, either as the victim of wrongdoing, or what I'm really talking about, as the perpetrator. Let's say you did someone badly, and you've really, honestly had a change of heart and mind, and you want to make amends. If they don't want to hear from you, and don't want to forgive you, you're out of luck. I know you want to put it to rest. But you don't get to force your sorry on someone who may still be traumatized by your prior actions. They don't owe you that opportunity for atonement. And insisting on them forgiving you, or even talking to you, is forcing them to relieve the trauma from the first time, and re-traumatizing them. It doesn't matter that your intentions are pure. They have a right to be left alone. If this happens to you, as the perpetrator, the only step left to you is to live with your guilt. How you go about that is up to you, as long as you continue a life of not hurting others. Get comfortable with that guilt, because no one owes you closure. Sleep is a gift, not a punishment. Importance of grabbing opportunity at the right moment. Making a noise when you stand up for the first time. How frustrating it is to cook for someone and have them turn their nose up at it or constantly complain. From Time by Pink Floyd. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. And you run to catch up with the sun. But it's sinking. Racing around to come up behind you again. The sun is the same in a relative way. But you're older, shorter of breath, and one day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter. Never seem to find the time. I heard this in the 80s and never thought anything of it. After cancer and a heart attack it hits hard. Treasure the little things. Love where you can. Life has a living cost. Pacing yourself and quality rest. I burned myself out so much in my younger years that I'd regularly get sick. These days, I may be doing less in a day, but I'm enjoying each day more. Making peace with our own mortality. When you're young, the idea of someday dying is scary, but as you age, and as the people you love sadly die, I think the fact you're going to one day die too becomes easier to accept. Growing up, I heard plenty of older people say they wouldn't want to live forever. That's now something I understand completely, and I wouldn't want it either. One Avril Lavigne was right. It has all been done before. So chill out. 2 This, too, shall pass. No, really. 3 How awesome it is to be a mostly average human being living an average life of whom only mediocrity is expected. For one thing, You're never alone with whatever it is. For if you're young you take for granted so many things. Your time. Your health. Your natural beauty. The friendships you so easily make. Only by getting older and seeing those things get jeopardized or taken away, can you learn to understand the power of these things. I have become increasingly unforgiving of some of my parents' choices. When people say that you stop feeling invincible, I always interpreted it as taking actions even I at a young age knew were misguided. Like bull riding or something. What they really mean is your appetite for risk changes to a point that your decision making becomes much more thoughtful and or pragmatic. Wanting something does not mean you deserve it, and deserving something does not mean you'll get it. I hated hearing life's not fair as a kid, but goddamn it was right. How valuable your own time is. I remember working OT and not getting paid for it, just in hopes I would get promoted. I didn't. I remember missing important school functions because I had to work in hopes that I would get the full $1 raise at my review. I didn't. I remember working through my lunch. They didn't notice or care. Now, I am careful with my time. It's worth so much more than you are giving me for it, and I absolutely refuse to allow any sort of stress or negativity into my life because the numbers aren't good. That ain't my problem. It sounds callous, but at the end my kids and my spouse will be there to hold my hand as I cross, not the CEO of the company I am working for, not HR. So, take your lunch. And do not work a split second past the time you are supposed to. How the ages of 18 to 25 aren't really adults.